Hi guys, welcome back to Island Girl Gardening. Today is Friday, October the 15th, and today I am going to start taking my pepper plants out of the raised beds and put them in the greenhouse to overwinter them for next year. Hi! So, as you can see, this is the plant that I'm going to start with right here. Make sure you got a good little angled picture of her. She's kind of in the corner here, but as you can see, her leaves are starting to droop. And she's looking a little weepy over here. You can compare it to the ones that you see behind here that are still pretty green and still have fruit on them. So this one, I'm going to start with this one right here. Let me see. Let me cut this little piece of asparagus out of the way so we can see a little better. That might help just a bit. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so there she is. And what I'm going to do to her, she's not a very big plant, but we did get some peppers off of her. We got some green peppers. I think it's a green pepper plant. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut back some of the limbs. Let me put that down just a little bit. There, you can see that a little better. All right. Just going to cut back a couple of the limbs. She's got about 4 limbs on her. So I'm just going to cut some. That's one. I'll cut it pretty far back. And usually I will leave just a little bit on the plant. If you can see that. I know it's kind of in an awkward spot behind the post there. There she is. So now you see she's cut back a bit. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't have my tool to take her out of the ground, but I can use my hands and get her. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some soil back. If you can see there. Yep, okay. And what I want to do is I want to get as much of her roots and root ball as I can, because I don't want to damage the roots, because of course I want her to be able to thrive during the winter in the greenhouse. So I'm going to get down as far as I can, just kind of feeling. And then, when you start feeling her rock a little bit, I'm down pretty far. And this is easier using a little tool. But being able to get my hands in the soil, I feel better about doing it this way, because I don't feel like I'm ripping her roots. And I can get down pretty far. All right, she is coming up. She is coming up. She is coming up. Got some roots on this side. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Oh, she's coming. She's coming. One long root down there. Okay, there we go. Whoa, wow. For such a little plant, she had a lot of roots. Look at her. There she is. Look at those roots. Okay, so now that I have her up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of, take some of the soil off of that root ball, and there's her roots. And see, she wasn't a very big plant, but she's got some really nice healthy roots. So she is going to be going in the greenhouse. Join me in the greenhouse. We are in the greenhouse, and I have bought my pepper plant. There she is. She's all cut back, and she is ready to go in the greenhouse. Now, while the pepper plants are overwintering, they will produce more leaves, and some of them will also try to fruit while they're overwintering. So all you have to do, if you see any flowers coming on your plant, the leaves are fine. You can just keep clipping those back. But if you see any flowers coming on the plant, you just pull the flowers off. It's fine. because you don't really want them to fruit over this time. This is kind of their rest period, um, getting them ready for next spring, when we'll put them back into the raised beds. And she will probably get really, really big next year, Lord willing, and she'll probably have even more fruit. Even though she's little, I think we got about 4 or 5 peppers off of this little plant. So I definitely want to keep her because she did, produce this year. So she gets a spot in the greenhouse. I can use this spot right here. This is where that pineapple was, and I think the pineapple has another home now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put her right snug in here. Give her a nice little spot. You see her? Yep, there she is. Now, after you transplant or pull anything out of your garden, or you're transplanting anything, it's going to look a little withery for a few days. What you have to do is make sure you water it every day for about 3 or 4 days once you've done this. That way they can get rooted in their new system and get used to their new space, because of course you've moved them, so you've disturbed some things for them. So just keep them nicely watered, and she should do fine. I have about 4 or 5 of these I'm gonna do today, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I did for my pepper plants. A couple of the Carolina Reaper plants out there were from last year, and they did excellent this year. They did really good last year, but we overwintered them. We put them in the greenhouse, and they're pretty tall. And they did really, really good this year. So overwintering really does help, and it gives you a jump start on the next growing season also, because you don't have to start your peppers from seed. You'll already have plants that you can put directly into your garden when you're ready. So that's the reason for doing this. We have a little jump start. Of course, we'll probably start something from seed. We usually do, but to have the plants to have like a nice little jump start is always nice. So thank you for joining me today. Like I said, I have about 4 or 5 more of these to do, so I'm going to get to work, and I'll see what else I'll do this weekend. This won't be the only thing that I do, so I will tune you guys back in so you can see what I'm doing next. All right, enjoy your weekend, guys, and happy gardening.